When Kendrick Lamar dissed Drake on April 30th on a beautiful Tuesday morning, it was met with mixed reviews throughout the industry and from the fans. But through the mixed reviews, I feel like at the very least we all agreed that this diss track woke up your critical thinking skills and forced you to think when dissecting the bars that Kendrick Lamar gave us. Puzzle begins way before we even hear a bar from Kendrick Lamar. You see, the conundrum starts from the title and the cover art of Euphoria. The second example in Merriam-Webster for Euphoria is they almost had a week to recover from the Euphoria of Tuesday series winning victory. Kendrick Lamar dropped on a Tuesday and used the title Euphoria to foreshadow the victory he believes this song is going to give him in this series with Drake. Now, Euphoria also means elated, so Kendrick Lamar could very well mean that he's excited and happy he's about to end Drake's career. And then you move forward to the more sinister meaning of this title and cover art. Kendrick Lamar also used the title Euphoria to agitate the long-standing rumor that Drake is having inappropriate relations with minors. Here's what I mean. Euphoria is the name of the polarizing Netflix series that have gotten a lot of backlash for glorifying abuse among the teenagers they're depicting. And they also get a lot of backlash and scrutiny for the over-sexualization of the teenagers they're depicting and acting as. Another added layer to this is that Drake is credited as being a producer on the Netflix series Euphoria. And also, Kendrick Lamar dropped this diss track on Tuesday, April 30th, which was the day of the child. So essentially, Kendrick Lamar is just dog whistling and agitating these rumors at Drake essentially being some type of creeping weirdo who has relations with minors.
Euphoria.
That's the intro to Euphoria. It's some type of cryptic sound that's in reverse. But if you slow it down and unreverse it in software, it paints a clearer picture.
Euphoria.
Everything they say about me is true.
Everything they say about me is true. I'm a phony. Everything they say about me is true. I'm a phony.
The audio that's reversed is actually a clip from The Wizard of Oz. When they finally found the Wizard of Oz, they realized that he's not some type of invincible, super mystical creature. He's actually human. And the Wizard of Oz, who's played by Richard Pryor, says, yo, everything you said about me is true. I am a phony. And that symbolizes what Kendrick Lamar thinks of Drake. He believes that Drake's superpowers are being neutralized as time goes on. All right, that people are no longer seeing Drake as a superhuman. They're now seeing him for who he really is, this flawed human. And Kendrick Lamar says exactly that in the very intro of Euphoria.
Them superpowers getting neutralized. I can only watch in silence. The famous actor we once knew is looking paranoid and now spiraling. You're moving just like a degenerate. Every antic is feeling distasteful.
The distasteful antics that Kendrick is referring to when it comes to Drake is, well, the most obvious one would be Drake using an AI Tupac to diss Kendrick.
Kendrick, we need ya, the West Coast savior. Ain't great in your name and some hip-hop history. If you deal with this viciously, you seem a little nervous about all the publicity.
Tupac's estate wasn't going for the malarkey, and they sent Drake a cease and desist, and that caused Drake to take down the song from his social media profiles.
Why calculate you not as calculated? I can even predict your angle. Fabricating stories on the family front, cause you heard Mr. Morale. A pathetic master manipulator, I can smell the tails on you now.
Kendrick calls out Drake for being a master manipulator, and he sort of does like a halfway 8-Mile thing, where he sorts of like foreshadows and let us all know, hey bro, Drake about to release some information about my family, just so y'all know it's all lies. Now, the reason why Kendrick thinks so is because when Drake dropped Push-Ups, he mentioned Kendrick Lamar's wife, Whitney, in a very slick bar that not too many people caught.
Hey, I be with some bodyguards like Whitney. Top say, drop your little midget ass, better fucking, hey, better drop and give me 50. Hey.
When Drake says, I'm with some bodyguards like Whitney, he's alluding to Kendrick Lamar's wife cheating on Kendrick Lamar with the bodyguards. It was a reference to The Bodyguard where Whitney Houston starred in. Now, the plot of this is Whitney Houston fell in love with the bodyguard and ended up having an affair with him. Kendrick believes that Drake is just making up these stories and narratives out of his head because he heard how vulnerable Mr. Morale in the Big Steppers was. Case in point, on a song called Mother I Sober, Kendrick Lamar raps about cheating on his wife and how he's an open sex addict and he's been in therapy to seek help. Kendrick Lamar rapped, I went through all emotion, no dependence except for the one. Let me bring you closer, intoxicated. Here's a lustful nature that I fail to mention, insecurities that I project, sleeping with other women. Then he transitions to a kitchen scene where he says he walks in and Whitney's hurt. The pure soul I know, I found her in the kitchen asking God, where did I lose myself? And can it be forgiven? Broke me down. She looked me in my eyes. Is there an addiction? I said no, but this time I lied. I knew that I can't fix it. Pure soul, even in her pain, knows she cared for me, gave me a number, said she recommended some therapy. Regardless of not if Drake actually knows something that we don't know, but Kendrick is expressing that Drake is about to lie to us and tell us all these false narratives, and where he's getting these narratives from is from listening to Mr. Morale and just painting whatever he wants to paint because he believes that Kendrick Lamar's marriage is in turmoil.
To being accepted, Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but FUBU never had been your collection. I make music that electrify 'em. You make music that pacify 'em. I can double down on that line, but spare you this time. That's random acts of kindness.
Now, this line may be one of the only reaches in this video, but I think I'm onto something, right? So he tells Drake, yo, my music excited people. Your music bored them, right? And then he says, I will spare you the details, random acts of kindness. What I believe that's a homophone, right? It's a play on academics. And what he's referring to when he says your music bored people, he's referring to when CLB dropped, Academics did a stream. Academics dissed Kendrick on that stream. And right after dissing Kendrick, he fell asleep while listening to the Drake album, making one of the most iconic hip-hop moments in the last decade.
What top 5 you smoking on, Kendrick? Because my top 5 is Drake, 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 Drake. You ain't doing a shit, nigga. You just talking a whole lot of shit for no fucking reason. I just want to know what all these niggas is talking about. Because Drake is all y'all niggas' daddy. That's a fact.
Yeah, I'm out the way, yeah, I'm low, okay. Yeah, the island right here is remote, okay. I ain't thinking about no reaper, nigga, I'm reaping what I sow, okay. Got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house like I'm Joe, okay.
Got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house like I'm Joe, okay. Is one of the more clever lines on this song. If we want to stay on the surface and not go too deep, obviously when he says he's reaping what he sows, and then mentions Benjamin and Jackson, well, Benjamin and Jackson can represent currency, and currency, money, is what he's reaping, right? But it extends deeper than this. In 1972, Michael Jackson released a song called Ben under Motown. Now, in the song, Michael Jackson sung about how he had this pet rat called Ben who would comfort him after his father, Joe, gave him beatings. Now, this rat was apparently like Michael Jackson's comforter after he would get abused by his father. Try to keep up with me. Let's slow it down. So Drake refers to himself as Michael Jackson on multiple occasions. The Weeknd, Pusha T, Kendrick Lamar, Future, and others have all alluded to Drake having a mole, a rat in his camp, who dines him out and give information to all his ops so it could be used against them. So when Kendrick says that he's Joe Jackson or he's Joe, and Drake, which is Jackson, which is Michael Jackson, and Ben, which are the rats, are all under the same home, Kendrick is referring to him being Joe and beating Drake in this battle so badly that Drake is seeking comfort in the very same dudes who are ratting him out to all his ops. But Kendrick wasn't done yet, right? There's still something else. You see, Kendrick alluded throughout this record that Drake is a snitch. Well, when Kendrick says you got Benjamin and Jackson under the same roof, essentially what he's saying is Michael Jackson, aka Drake, and Benjamin the Rat are one and the same, essentially calling Drake a snitch and a rat, which we will get to a little later in this video.
Hellcat, made his own boys and them types LA solo, okay. Everybody wanna be demon till they get chipped by your throwaway.
Everybody wanna be a demon till they get chipped by a throwaway. A very simple bar, but has multiple meanings beneath the surface. So the first meaning is a reference to Drake and Future's falling out over women. Future's full name is Nadavius Demon Cash. Future also has a song called Throwaway where Future raps about how he don't take these chicks on dates and how he's smashing on the first day. Kendrick is calling Drake tender, says Drake wants to act like Future when it comes to these women, but when he gets chipped or played by one of these women and they choose up, he starts beefing with one of the homies who they chose up on. Now, it extends deeper than just the Future and Drake angle. You see, when he says, everybody wants to be a demon until they get chipped by a throwaway, that's a reference to Drake calling himself a demon, but then getting really sensitive or in his feelings when he gets dissed or jabbed at on his throwaway verses like the Control verse with Big Sean and the Like That verse with Future and Metro.
Going down right now, man. Control the record. People still banging it, man. Where is Drake at with Control?
I'm probably like as done as like the rest of the world is with that record. Like I think it came and it went,
Have you ever played? Have you ever? Okay, nigga, let's play. Have you ever walked your enemy down like with a poker face? Have you ever paid 500,000 like to an open case? Well, I have, and I failed at both, but I came out straight.
This was a great bar. So Kendrick invites Drake to play Never Have I Ever, right? So he starts the game of Never Have I Ever, and the first question is, have you ever had to pay $500,000 to an open case? Well, I have. Have you, Drake? That was Kendrick Lamar's way of referencing the 2018 sexual assault case. So a woman by the name of Laquana Morris signed a retainer agreement with Alexander Carruthers on January 23, 2018, and she explained that she was sexually assaulted by the rapper Drake, and she claims that Drake forced her to perform oral on him. Now, she would describe it as not just ordinary oral, but it was more so a fetish. Drake denied all accusations by this chick. However, him and his team came to a settlement agreement with the chick, and they agreed to pay her $350,000. Here is the first payment out of the $350,000 that she received.
I hate when I rap or talk about guns, then somebody die, they turn into nuns, then I hop online like pray for my city, he faking for likes and digital hugs.
A lot of people seen this as a diss at J. Cole, but I didn't. I seen this as a direct diss at Drake. He's referencing how Drake will rap as recently as the Push Up record about guns and putting Kendrick in the scope and giving headshots.
Pip squeak, pipe down, you ain't in no big three. SZA got you wiped down, Travis got you wiped down, Savage got you wiped down. Like your label, boy, you in a scope right now.
But then Drake would do these things like Toronto Remember Me, where he will speak about how he wants to be a positive person, curb gun violence, and leave a positive impact for the youth.
I want to be remembered as selfless. I want to be remembered as a positive person. I encourage everybody to lift the weight off of themselves because until you lift that weight, you don't realize how much you're benching,
Not only does Kendrick think that is just super hypocritical and corny, Kendrick also believes that Drake is moving like a culture vulture, where he comes, he takes certain elements from the streets, use it for, monetization, glorify it and profit from it. But then when it comes to, attaining or retaining corporate sponsors and, and being looked at as the golden child still, he deviates completely away from the image he gives on the records and, he put on the display that we just seen.
Daddy a killer, he wanna be junior, they must have forgot the shit that they done. Dementia must run in his family, but let it get shaky. I park your son.
This is an attachment from the previous bar, where he further dives into Drake's hypocrisy. His daddy a killer, he wanna be junior, they must have forgot what they've done, is a reference to J. Prince Jr., and Drake. So Drake has an unusually close relationship with J. Prince. J. Prince is the one who told Drake not to drop the record he had going at Pusha T. Well, J. Prince and the family has been involved in a couple notable murders in hip-hop, including the Takeoff murder. And, Kendrick is saying that Drake is trying to take on the persona of J. Prince Jr., the real mobster, which circles back to the hypocrisy of Drake praying for his city and pushing for peace, but he's hanging around and trying to mimic killers, according to Kendrick. Now, there was another really sneaky line within here.
But let it get shaky. I park your son.
That was a jab at J. Cole referring to himself as Muhammad Ali on First Person Shooter. J. Cole raps, love when they argue who the hardest MC. Is it K-Dot, is it Aubrey, or me? We the big three, like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali. Yeah, Muhammad Ali, the one that they call when they ish ain't connecting no more, feel like I got a job in IT. Well, Muhammad Ali had Parkinson's disease up until his death. So when Kendrick says, if things get shaky, I'll park your son, well, that's a play on shaky and Parkinson's, and he's speaking to Drake, where J. Cole has often been considered as Drake's son, who plays second fiddle to Drake. And he's telling Drake and J. Cole, if things get shaky again, I'll park J. Cole, but Parkin's son, which is a Muhammad Ali reference because J. Cole calls himself Muhammad Ali.
Very first time I shot me a Drake, the homie had told me to aim it this way. I didn't point down enough. Today I show you I learned from those mistakes.
Also a pretty witty bar that don't really take too much thinking. Shot me a Drake, a play on shooting shots at Drake. He has misfired shots at Drake in the past, but this time he's going to aim properly and get the headshot on Drake. But when he aims at Drake, he's aiming down, signifying that he's really up here and Drake is beneath him, and he has to aim down to get Drake.
Somebody had told me that you got a ring. On God, I'm ready to double the wage. I'd rather do that than let a Canadian nigga make Pac turn in his grave.
Kendrick is upset that Drake purchased Tupac's ring for $1 million at auction, and he offers to pay $2 million for the ring because he believes that Drake having his ring is making Tupac turn in his grave.
Cut the business, you got shit twisted. What is it, the braids? I hurt your feelings, you don't work with me no more, okay.
This was a dig at Drake going on the radio and saying he doesn't really want to work or collab with Kendrick Lamar anymore because Kendrick Lamar mentioned his name on the Control verse.
Cause I'll be real, I've thought of doing that before. I thought man, it would be crazy if I just went off on everybody, but it's just kind of where does it really get me? Then what? Then every time I rap, people are going to expect me to be confrontational, and when I'm not, then it's not entertaining. You know what I mean? It's like, it kind of puts you in a box a bit. So
I don't think that put Kendrick in a box.
I don't know if I necessarily respect it. We all make decisions. I'm sure he'll be good. He's talented as you know what I'm saying? He's going to have another album and another opportunity to take the world by storm. So he'll be all right, you know what I'm saying? Even if it doesn't feature, any of the names that he mentioned, which it probably won't, to be honest with you. I don't know who's going to go back from that and be like, yeah, let's do that. Let's link up and nah, you know what I'm saying? But he'll be all right. He's a talented dude.
Does it make you not want to collab with him?
Yeah, I'm good right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm just about this album and me, and I don't know necessarily if I feel 100% I'm not man, send me some, let's work. Nah, not really. You know what I'm saying? I'm really just focused on me.
And to think that all this hoopla we see today started from that particular moment. Because after that, Kendrick Lamar went on a BT Cypher and dissed Drake and dissed his upcoming album, Nothing Was the Same.
There's 3 ghosts left and I see 2 of them kissing and hugging on stage. I love them to death, and in 8 bars I'll explain their phrase.
This was some really crafty wordsmith here. So he says that, there's only 3 ghosts left, him, J. Cole, and Drake and J. Cole was kissing on stage, but he loves them to death. And then he says, in 8 bars, I'm going to explain that phase. Well, if you count 8 bars, the 8th bar, it's the YNW Melly reference.
It's nothing nobody can tell me. I don't want to talk on no celly. I got language barriers. It's no accent you can sell me. Your Cole and Ivory know I'm a selfish nigga. The crown is heavy. I pray they my real friends. If not, I'm YNW Melly.
He's YNW Melly, who is obviously on trial or have an up-and-coming trial for murdering his 2 friends. Kendrick is simply saying he's going to murder Drake and J. Cole.
I don't like you popping shit at Pharrell. For him, I inherit the beef. Yeah, fuck all that pushing P. Let me see you push a T. You better off spinning again on him. You think about pushing me. He's Terrence Thornton, I'm Terrence Crawford. Yeah, I'm whooping feet.
This is a reference to Drake buying Pharrell's old classic chains for about $3 million at auction, and then dissing Pharrell on the Meltdown track with Travis Scott, where he raps about melting it down. Drake raps, man, F all that spinning the narrative-ish. I melt down the chains that I bought from your balls. Give a F about all that heritage-ish. Since V not around, the members done hung up the Louis. They not even wearing that ish. So Drake dissed Pharrell and Pusha T by saying he's gonna melt down Pharrell's change and destroy all the heritage. Then he also takes a shot at Pharrell's Louis Vuitton debut by saying, ever since Virgil passed away, we don't wear Louis no more. Now, for you guys who don't know, Pharrell has a Louis Vuitton line, and Pusha T actually walked the runway during Pharrell's Louis Vuitton debut. Hence why Kendrick said, instead of going at Pharrell a la Pushin' P, you should be going at Pusha T a la Pusha T. When the bar evolves and Kendrick tells Drake, you better off spinning back around on Pusha T, and handling your issues with him instead of beefing with me, because I'm not what you want. But he's Terrence Thornton, Pusha T's real name. But I'm Terrence Crawford, the baddest MF on the planet, so I'm whooping feet.
I know some shit about niggas that make gonna wanna look like a saint.
Another reference to Drake snitching, which we will get back to fairly shortly.
Now let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this.
That was a play on the infamous Breakfast Club moment where DMX rants off about all the things he dislikes about Drake.
What about Drake? You like Drake?
No.
My man.
He didn't even say a little bit. He didn't even say halfway.
That's my guy right there.
No.
That's why X is necessary in the game right there.
Man. Now, why don't you like Drake? I don't like anything about Drake. I don't like his voice. I don't like what he talks about. I
be trying to tell these people.
I don't like the way he walks, like nothing. I don't like his haircut. I might just, let me shut up. I'll just stop right there.
Oh my God.
Damn it, man.
No, but if I catch flight, it's gonna be direct. We hate the bitches you fuck, cause they confuse themselves with real women. Then notice I said we, it's not just me, I'm what the culture feeling.
When Kendrick says we hate the women you F because they confuse themselves as real women, that could mean two things. That could mean the LGBTQIA route, or it could mean the underage route. I would take it to mean the underage route, where Kendrick Lamar is alluding to Drake is dating kids or having relations with kids who considers themselves real women when they're not really women yet. Now, what Kendrick is referring to are instances like this.
I gotta show y'all this shit, bro. First off, this nigga like went on a date with an 18-year-old. It's a little creepy, but it's cool. She 18, whatever. It's weird, but it's legal. All right, bro. She was born in 2000, bro. Why the fuck is this nigga flicked up with her in 2016, laying up on her, bro? And then as soon as she turned 18, they took her out on a date, bro. Dude, this shit blew my fucking mind when I seen this shit, bro. On God, this shit blew my fucking mind, bro. Like, dead ass, bro. This Drake is pre-ordering bitches, bro. He's dead ass pre-ordering, bro. And this, what, May 5th, 2016? Linked her a week after she turned 16. She basically freshly 16, bro. Like, God, like, what is this shit, bro? Bro, this shit, like, actually blew me when I seen this, bro. Is that your GOAT? That's the thing, bro. He's still, like, he is my GOAT, but I can't co-sign this, bro. Like, this is crazy.
To be fair to Drake, these pictures have absolutely no context. We don't know if Drake is just a family friend, you know, if it's just a flick with the daughter of the homies, right? Which, in that case, this would be completely platonic and completely innocent. So it's unclear exactly, like, what context these pictures were taken in. But people have used these pictures to claim that Drake is a groomer for years now.
How many more fairy tale stories about your life till we had enough? How many more black features till you finally feel that you're black enough?
That's also a double entendre where he says, how many more black features, meaning collabs with black artists, do you need until you feel black enough? And black features, meaning characteristics, the phenotype of a black person. How many more characteristics of a black man do you need to feel black enough? Calling Drake's blackness into question and saying that Drake really doesn't fit into the culture.
I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough. You gon' make a nigga bring back Puff. Let me see if Chubbs really crashed something.
That line referenced a 2014 incident where both Diddy and Drake was at Live nightclub in Miami Beach, and Diddy punched Drake in the shoulder, re-aggravating an old injury, and that sent Drake to the hospital. Rick Ross's protege, Sam Sneak, was the first to report this on Twitter. He even says that Drake was sent to the hospital, and he hinted at Diddy being a corporate by claiming that it wasn't about Cassie. Earlier in this diss track, Kendrick referenced Drake's daddy who's a killer. Well, that's Jay Prince, and Jay Prince sent a stern warning to Diddy about laying hands on Drake and just warned Diddy to never repeat that again.
Oh, yeah. These in awaken a sleeping giant. So let me put these bully niggas on notice by letting them know Drake is family. And the weak shit from Puffy and Suge is on my radar. First of all, Puffy, feeling like he can put his hands on my family, open the doors for his family to be touched. You reap what you sow. And to Sugar Bear on Lil Wayne's nutsack, nigga, you know I ride with Drake, so I accept any invitation you wanna bring. I'm your worst nightmare.
So Kendrick is telling Drake, let's bring Puff back and let's see if you're still tough with Puff. Or better yet, let's see your goon who's been actively tweeting at me and my homies during our beef, Chubbs. Let's see if Chubbs is tough. Let's see if Chubbs will actually crash out for you if Puff get on your ass again.
Yeah, my first one like my last one. It's a classic, you don't have one. Let your core audience stomach that. Then tell them where you get your abs from. V12, it's a fast one. Bow, bow, bow. Last one.
Kendrick resurfaces the age-old rumor that Drake went to Dr. Miami or one of those cosmetic places to get his abs, and he didn't really earn his abs in the gym. Now, Kendrick would hint at this by bringing up V12, which is the liposuction machine.
Headshot for the year. You better walk around like Daft Punk. Remember? Hey, Top Dog.
Then he says, headshot for the year, better walk around like Daft Punk, telling Drake he better wears a protective face covering like Daft Punk, you know, to really withstand these headshots that's coming his way. Now, Kendrick does something really clever, which he says, remember a Top Dog. Now, the remember a Top Dog, I think, is a clever way of Kendrick saying, remember Top Dog. Now, if you guys know anything about the movie Top Dog, you know that Top Dog was a really smart dog who linked up with Chuck Norris to tackle and take down neo-Nazis terrorists. And at the end of the movie, they engaged in this gun battle, a gunfight with the neo-Nazi terrorists. And Top Dog and Chuck Norris defeated the neo-Nazi terrorists with headshots and gunfire. Now, maybe I'm reaching, but I believe that was a slick way of Kendrick saying that essentially he's the good guy, right? He's the Top Dog, he's the Chuck Norris, and he's going to war and battle with Drake, who he believes is a neo-Nazi, you know, who he believes is a white boy masquerading, you know, as a Negro, you know, to steal the culture and to profit from it.
Who the fuck they think they playing with? Extortion my middle name as soon as you jump off of that plane, bitch. I'm allergic to the lame shit. Only you like being famous. Yachty can't give you no swag neither. I don't give a fuck about who you hanging with.
Kendrick is really smart in playing again into the social media narrative. Ever since the Lil Yachty Jumbotron reference track for Drake leaked, people are now accusing Drake of stealing all his sauce, his style, and even his new flow from Lil Yachty, and Lil Yachty being a real tastemaker, giving Drake the sauce.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. Surprised you wanted that feature request. You know that we got some shit to address.
Kendrick says, surprised you wanted that feature request. You know we still got some shit to address. He's referring to first-person shooter. Now, allegedly, Drake and J. Cole asked Kendrick to be on first-person shooter, but Kendrick declined.
Kendrick low-key, like, I don't know why, but he teased a lot of tea, right? I now have good authority to say that allegedly Drake hit up Kendrick, and First Person Shooter should have been a song with Drake, Cole, and Kendrick. Now, if you think about this entire timeline and beef with that in mind, makes sense. So First Person Shooter, Drake hit up Kendrick to say, hey, we got an open for you. It's me and Cole. Come holla at me. Do the song. Kendrick doesn't do the song. Then he hears the song, and the song is a bunch of niggas who's talking about me and you is a Spider-Man meme and blah, 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 blah. And he says, man, these bum-ass niggas who couldn't get a feature from me is now acting like they're number one and number two. Fuck both of them.
I'm knowing they call you the boy, but where's the man? Cause I ain't seen him yet. Matter of fact, I ain't even bleed him yet. Can I bleed him? When I see you stand by sexy red, I believe you see two bad bitches. I believe you don't like women. It's real competition. You might pop ass with them.
Nothing to really dissect there. He just violated Drake. Damn near insinuating, bro, that Drake is a homosexual.
Let's speak on percentage. Show me your splits, I'll make sure I double back with you. You assigned to a nigga that signed to a nigga that said he was signed to that nigga. Try cease and desist on a like that record.
This where Kendrick takes aim at Drake's, I guess, record deal situation is kind of outdated. I feel like you being signed to this guy who signed to that guy who signed to this guy would have fit about 8 years ago, right? But it hasn't been the same since about 2019. Drake is now in a whole new contract, bro. He got like $500 million from UMG. Like Birdman and Lil Wayne has nothing to do with Drake's current contract, right? But Kendrick referenced Drake sending out a cease and desist for the Like That verse. So what Kendrick means is, so apparently UMG sent a notice to Epic Records and let them know that they don't have their approval because Kendrick Lamar is on Interscope, that's under UMG, and Future is on Epic. So UMG told Epic, y'all don't have our approval to put this record on radio with one of our artists on that record. Essentially, people think this was UMG doing Drake a favor by refusing to push the record or have the record on radio because the record is dissing Drake. It's also being speculated that Drake had UMG take down Kanye West's Like That remix, which was on YouTube for a couple of hours before being snatched down, which makes perfect sense to me because why would I keep a record up if I have an invested interest into an artist and you, Kanye, is on record for saying this record is intended to eliminate somebody who I have a $500 million investment into, which is Drake, of course I'm going to take it down.
Called him out in London to get on a joint. And, you know, everybody is very, very excited about the elimination of Drake.
Oh, what, you ain't like that record? Back to back, I like that record. I'm gonna get back to that for the record.
This was pretty clever of Kendrick. He says, back to back, I like that record. I'm going to get back to that. So we all assume he was referring to Meek Mill diss track by Drake back to back, but he wasn't, right? So he sampled Teddy Pendergrass on Euphoria. However, in his next diss track after this on 616, he actually sampled Al Green, which is why it's back to back because that's a song that Al Green and Teddy Pendergrass did together. Yo, this man, bro, was fine-combing every details, bro. This is ridiculous.
20v1, this 1v20 if I gotta smack niggas that right with you. Yeah, bring them out too, I clean them out too. Tell Bean that he better stay right with you. Am I battling Ghost or AI? Nigga feeling like Joel Osteen.
When Kendrick Lamar mentions Beam, he was referring to this guy. He calls this guy a ghostwriter for Drake. Now, Beam is actually a very popular ghostwriter in the industry. Beam has literally written for everyone, but it's unclear what his contributions are to Drake or exactly why Kendrick Lamar brought up Bean in reference to Drake, because so far we really can't pinpoint any writing credits on a Drake song from Beam. Most that we could do is probably like find producer credits on Her Loss from Beam. But nonetheless, when Kendrick says, am I fighting an AI or a ghost, he's referring to AI software when Drake used AI in his tailor-made freestyle to diss Kendrick, or a ghost, which is Drake's ghostwriter, which is why he mentioned a 20v1. You know, essentially saying is him versus 20 of Drake's ghostwriters.
Am I battling Ghost or AI? Nigga feeling like Joel Osteen.
He actually meant Joel Osment, not Osteen. Now Joel Osment was actually in the AI movie, in the Sixth Sense movie, where he famously said, I see dead people. Which, by the way, is some really clever wordplay from Kendrick.
Funny, he was in a film called AI, and my sixth sense telling me to off him. I'm a blick niggas all in they coughing. Yeah, OV-ho niggas is dick riders. Tell them run to America to imitate heritage. They can't imitate this violence. What I learned is niggas don't like the West Coast, and I'm fine with it. I'll push the line with it. Pick a nigga off one at a time with it. We can be on a 3-hour time difference. Don't speak on the family, Crody. It can get deep in the family, Crody.
Toronto is only a 3-hour time difference from LA, which is why he mentions the 3-hour time gap. And he also tells Drake if he speaks on his family is going to bleed Crody. Now, he spams the word Crody because he's making fun of Drake's accent, but also Drake's cat name is Crody.
All the cats in the background, too. That's a good look. Yeah, that's my cat right there.
Maybe for all the... I mean, you did it for all the dogs. Maybe
this
next,
is for all the cats.
This is for all the cats.
Yeah, that's my cat's name is Crody.
We have a cat as well? Karate?
Crody.
Crody.
Crody. You got to say it like that, though. Crody.
Crody.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Cheers. Cheers to Crody.
Talk about me and my family, crody. Someone go bleed in your family, crody. I be a Newhall King eating fried rice with a dip sauce and a blammy, crody. Tell me your cheesing farm. We could do this right now on the camera, crody. Hey, fuck y'all niggas, I don't trust y'all niggas. I wave one finger and thump y'all niggas like, field goal punt y'all niggas, they punk y'all niggas. Nobody never took my food.
Kendrick Lamar sends Drake a warning and let him know subliminally that he's privy to information that the world isn't. You see, that's what Kendrick Lamar did at the end of this record by mentioning Newhall King restaurant, right? The Chinese restaurant in Toronto. So apparently that's the restaurant where Drake was robbed at in 2009. Drake tells GQ that he thinks the robbery was an inside job. He said, I knew it was a setup because I had on a sweater and a jacket, but when they banged on the car window with a gun and opened the door, the first thing he said was, yo, run that chain. Drake, who had been on a date, says they didn't rob my date and her purse was sitting there. So I was like, okay, yup, you set the whole thing up. The rapper lost around $4,000 in a new chain that Lil Wayne had given him. So when Kendrick ends the line with, nobody has ever taken my food, he's referencing Drake getting robbed at the restaurant, essentially saying, bro, they took your food and your stuff when you left out that restaurant. Now, here's the thing, though. You see, Kendrick Lamar has been alluding to Drake snitching and knowing information about Drake snitching and referencing Rats and Gunna throughout this entire song. See, what he's referring to actually, is tied in with what took place at the restaurant, at the robbery. Apparently, the dudes who robbed Drake have been going around for years showing paperwork claiming that Drake snitched on them. Now, here's the paperwork. The paperwork is sketchy at best, and essentially all the paperwork does is just document exactly what took place at the incident, at the robbery. Now, this was captured on camera as well. It never stated that Drake cooperated or Drake gave a statement. But even if Drake did, isn't Drake a civilian? Isn't he allowed to snitch? So I don't understand this whole angle of snitching.
Whoever that's fucking with them, fuck you niggas and fuck the industry too. If you take it there, I'm taking it further. Psst, that's something you don't want to do.
The ballot is heating up. I think Drake is currently in the lead, but I would have to walk back my statement of this record was completely trash because it wasn't. This actually was pretty complex. It was a dope song. I just don't think that it was a great diss, meaning I want to actually hear you diss somebody and not just put together complex rhyme scheme, if that makes sense, all right? But if you think this was complex, wait until you try to boggle your mind around this insane 20v1 with the rapper JP. This chick gave him head in the bathroom and instantly regretted it. The ending will shock you. But I did a whole video on it, so click on this video here to find out what I'm talking about. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.